I'm Nigel Walsh. This is Unfiltered. I'm not wearing a collar, and you are.
I'm Matt Connolly. This is Unfiltered indeed. And Nigel, I am very excited for this pod. I think we're both in pretty upbeat, positive, fairly unfiltered moods.
I would agree with that. We're not in a mood. We are elated. Is it the sunshine? Is it the time of the year? Is it the fact that summer is amongst us? I've no idea.
Or is it just a great week of insurance innovation? Maybe that's what it is.
I'm not sure about that. Hey, let's ask a different question. When are we not in a good mood?
Yeah, it's true. You were pretty miserable in the HYrox.
That's because it was really hard. And you're an animal and I'm fat and not good.
You were chipper even in that.
There you go. But we got it done. We did. I was actually in the gym this morning doing more things I don't like doing, i.e. lifting weights. And someone said to me, "You've lost a lot of timber." I thought, that's made my day. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you have. You're still in good shape. Are you still going the right direction?
It's plateaued like a plateau of plateaus, which is actually what I wanted. So, cool. And after my DEXA scan, I just need to take off 3 or 4 more kilos. But I'm gonna flatline it a bit first, and then try and get back into more muscle and everything else. So I'm really happy, actually. Really good.
Cool. Get the beach bod ready and all that.
I don't think it's ever going to be a beach bod. Maybe I'll be happy with dad bod. How's that?
Did I ever tell you the story? It's the most inappropriate and sorry, nothing to do with insurance for anyone who's just tuned in and wanting to listen to it. Did I ever tell you the story where Caroline and Freddie went ahead of me to Australia? And for whatever reason, I can't remember why, but I got like a flight the day after, a couple of days after. And so it was one of those where I was on my own, no kid, 24-hour flight. And I watched movies, I drank red wine, I barely moved, but I got to the other end and I was out of shape. My lower legs had swollen up. And I was also like, everybody was already on Bondi Beach, which is where we were camping out. And so I got to the place we were staying. I unpacked. I got into my trunks, got my t-shirt on. I walked down to the beach where everybody was there. I was also massively conscious, right? I mean, I'm sort of pale to the point of blue at best of times. I was way out of shape.
Pasty white Irish guy. What are you about?
And I got to the beach and I took my top off, really, really self-conscious at the exact same time as a little kid. He could only be like 4 or 5. Hoofed a football. It got me straight into the nuts. And I was bent over and seemingly the whole of Bondi Beach turned around and saw it. I'm sure that's not true. But I was just like, oh, welcome to Australia. Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You don't want that, do you? You don't
want that. No, but that was, and my first trip there. Luckily, my second trip was a little bit more successful.
So is the title of this podcast Matt's Nuts?
Yeah, it could be.
Or Matt is Nuts. How about we go Matt is Nuts? What is going on in your world?
It's been a good week. I really enjoy for whilst I do love working remotely and never seeing people in person, but I also absolutely adore one-to-one meetings or just catching up with, it's this world of, we've been in this space for too long and we're talking about it offline, right? Just our friendship, how that's grown, but it's connected through the industry and just hanging out with people. So I was in Zurich Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, seeing clients that have now become friends. And then also people who I haven't barely met before who are so generous. Again, one of the things I posted on LinkedIn, and so you've got it already, was I met up with the most incredible lady, Roberta, who works at Zurich. I met her very briefly. We invited her to one of our Sonar after-hour dinners after ITI or something in London. She wasn't able to make it, but happened to be in the same restaurant that night meeting someone else. So she popped into the room.
How weird is that?
Yeah, and so it's just wonderful, right? So we met her there. I had 15 minutes with her in Zurich before she said oh, you know what? I've got a place really close to the water. If you want to borrow my stand-up paddleboard, it's yours. I mean, and I love that kindness,
people
right?
Are so good, right? Just people
they are so good.
We spend too much time in headlines that make us feel bad or whatever else, but actually the world's a good place. The world is genuinely a super good place.
And spending time with these people is beautiful.
See, I'm the opposite. I crave being in the office and seeing people and hanging out. And then once I've overloaded on that, I need my own space to then play catch up or whatever else and actually do the work that I promised I'm going to go do. So it's weird. I take the first one. So they are. Hey, you know what they say? Opposites attract, darling.
That's it. What's your week been like? You been good?
It's been good. I'm on the ground for 3 weeks, which is always lovely. Usual story. I actually saw an old friend of mine yesterday, insurance exec, and we sat there for coffee and water, and it was great to catch up with her. Not seen her for a while. It was just great. There's just good people out there, and you build these relationships not over an email or a coffee, but over a period of 5, 10, 15 years. And you realize I've been doing this for a while and it's
Yeah.
really cool. So
Yeah.
usual stuff for me. I was with Genpact yesterday. They had an agentic AI insurance day in London. They are in Heron Tower. Walked into a packed room with ServiceNow all over their big screens demonstrating
Hey,
some of our
cool.
cool stuff. So that was cool. Thanks to Ardi and the team for that. With a bunch of other partners earlier in the week and a whole host of other customers. So my
Nice.
usual week, really, or as
And
my wife likes to say, my wife says, "How was your day? Workshops?" I said, "Yeah, I work, you shop."
wait, we gotta bring some of these out, don't we? These dad jokes. I love them.
We
Uh,
should do is we should do a series of quick sound bites where we get our friends to say, what is it actually that Matt and Nigel actually do for a living?
oh, we should
I've
do it
been
with our
married.
families as well. Yeah.
Honestly, I've been married 20 years. Emma and I've been together 26 years, and I don't think she could tell you what I do.
I'm not sure I know what you do.
I don't know what
Uh,
I do.
I don't know.
I'm making sure it's lovable, Matt. You know the
That's what you
tagline.
do. That's what you do. You make insurance lovable for us
What
all.
is going on in the world of insurance? Quite a big week, right?
Yeah, it's been some good stuff. Yeah, just put So News out. So in theory, it should be fresh in my head. I mean, equally, it's kind of like it's just a scarring process.
Is that a pregnant pause to work out what I actually just wrote in the
No,
newsletter?
what has
Let
no?
me give you a hint.
Mills review.
Ah,
That's where I
I
started
was
the newsletter. I thought it was really interesting. I hadn't read it. What I did, of course, is I put it into AI and then got AI to summarize it and then read that. But it is it. I mean, is it interesting? It's kind of what you would expect, also, right? So it's kind of the world is moving towards AI. AI has a load of advantages. We need to be careful with AI. I don't know if that's my beautiful summary.
It
Thoughts?
is. I was actually out with a friend of mine yesterday, former colleague, and he is in that business of risk and advisory and whatever else. But the big one that was in conversation was, will we or will we not regulate LLMs? And
Yes,
that's the big
interesting.
question, right? So, and actually this week I've been managing stuff between Singapore and the UK. And obviously the regulation around MAS and FCA is slightly different. The approaches are different. So I've been doing a bunch of work around those and how we actually use something that we've got in the kit bag called Control Tower to help you find out whether or not you're compliant or not. But the regulation here or the Mills review here says, actually, do we, with more and more consumers using LLMs and AI for financial advice, at what point do we step in and go, all right, if you're going to go to chat GPT for advice and 60% of the traffic's going that way, shouldn't we therefore also regulate it?
Yeah.
In the same way that you had on the pod a few weeks back, we talked about influencers that were going, look at my product with absolutely no capability or whatever else. And again, for years, we've talked about the difference between advice and guidance. And I think we need to be really careful.
Yeah, and that's right. And these people are using it, and this is part of the Mills review, right? They're using it to make decisions, and that is the critical difference. It's not just a, I don't know, nice to have or a sort of a soft advisory. These guys are making informed decisions based on intelligence that is not always accurate or evidence
Yeah.
based. And
Yeah. I
that is,
agree.
and in fact, that's where the whole newsletter started, right? Which is then it got me onto Sonar 2.0, which is, the businesses that will succeed are those that are using AI but are evidence backed and that are not sort of wandering off into other places, right? And that's going to be critical.
Completely agree. Completely agree. It's really interesting right now. I use it quite significantly for financial advice, health advice, insights, etc., etc. I've shared my experiences with lots of people. I've shown them lots of stuff I've done with it. I think it's brilliant. But equally, I know how to ask the right questions, or I'm always learning how to ask questions and also challenge. And if the average Joe then doesn't go, that's not right, they may be misled down the wrong path. And if they do that, then who's liable?
Sure.
And we've seen loads of cases of hallucinations in chatbots, whether it's Air Canada or BMW dealership in Canada that gave out the wrong information, went to court in one instance on the Air Canada situation, not on BMW, but was found to be in the customer's favor in both times.
Yeah. And I think
So
as we start using these things, going back to sort of financial decisions, right? When it's a subject matter that we are less personally informed about and therefore unable to qualify the quality of the answer, that risk only greatens. I think all
yeah,
those words made sense. But
I think
it's one,
we'll put the transcript into AI afterwards and
yeah.
see if it didn't Matt make any sense. No.
I think it's exactly what we need to do. But yeah, that's right. And then so it's one of those where as we start, I'm just going to say the same thing again, so I won't. But it's we need to be very careful what we're using, and I think regulation is a good thing, right? As long as it doesn't hold us back.
I go back
But
to Monica Caldas, CIO for Liberty Mutual globally. She talks about governance being an accelerator, not a brake. And I think it's really important that we use. I've always talked about governance and regulation as an innovator, nothing else. If you can understand the rules and be more agile to them quicker than anyone else, you've got the ability to go, we're conformant, we're conformant, we're conformant. We won't end up in another mis-selling scandal or whatever else that the UK for specifically. Look at what the last mis-selling cost is. Now we're into the motor trade one and whatever else on motor finance. It's like, it's just bonkers right now. So the conversation about liability came up at yesterday's session as well in the room full of insurers, which was great. Who's liable? So you go, okay, we've got an LLM from a large organization. Are they liable or is it our implementation? Easy to answer question in my mind. Then you get an open source model that you've then forked and done your own thing to. Now who's liable? And then to build on this, like a good host, Travelers this week, I might have done this before. Travelers this week also launched their own LLM.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I love it. I love what those guys are up to. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Cool.
Trained on hundreds and thousands of their own internal libraries or documents, right?
It's an interesting one. I've been asked about this for months or years, to be fair, even back to my Google days. Like, do we build one? Do we not build one? We're unique. I've watched Mike OS and Harvey and Legora do stuff in the legal space. Why not insurance? Why hasn't everyone done this, Matt?
Why haven't? But that's not what Legora and Harvey are doing, right? They are just building. They're just building interfaces into. They're using LLMs, so frontier models, and plugging. I mean, it's a Claude Cowork equivalent, right? Well, I guess that's what you're saying, but they're using the frontier models. They're not building their own. Or that's right. They started. Maybe that's where they started. With
and
that,
two people have specialized. Two sub segments in my mind have specialized. One is legal. The other is healthcare.
Yeah,
and that's where we've got precedence and a case that's consistent. What we don't have in insurance is something that is consistent because we have T's and C's that vary so often and so frequently. They always seem to go. You might say we've got wordings or we've got claims history or whatever else it might be. What I think people are going to do, and we saw this with Bloomberg, GPT, and a bunch of others early on, to go, let's go build our own, and then realize, wow, that's really expensive to manage. I think we're going to end up in a world that says, let's do a frontier model, whether it's from a big corporation or it's open source, to give us the summarization. And then let's grab an SLM of sorts that's grounded on our own internal data that makes it unique. So I now get the Sonar data plus my frontier model. I now get the ServiceNow data plus my frontier model, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people start to end up, and they start to build that. But that then links back to the conversation about sovereign AI that you and I have had before as well. So I think all those things are going in tripartite right now: token maxing, our own LLMs, sovereignty.
It does. And then, lo and behold, in the Mills review, to bring that full circle, was the thing that we've said 1,000 times, which is whoever owns the interface, which is therefore AI, quite potentially, owns the customer, right? And and then we talk about embedded. And so before this also, the other thing is, so I talked about embedded in my newsletter, but you're talking about Direct Line Group, weren't you?
I was. No, sorry, First Direct.
Sorry, not Direct Line. Yeah, First Direct.
And they're another one that's come out. And I say another one because First Direct came out and said, we are unbundling insurance. So for years, bank assurance, as we all know, has been super interesting, super important. Pre the AI buzz was blockchain. Pre the blockchain buzz was embedded insurance. Still loads of people doing it. Super interesting. Loads of partners out there, loads of technology companies that will make it headless. So you can just go, I want to offer motor, home, pet, travel, whatever it might be, into my bank account or into my property management, wherever it might be. And now you've got people going, we're just not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you've then got to go, well, why are they not doing it? Is it a burden on your brand or whatever else it might be?
Was there any? I haven't read about it. Is there anything that was cited for the reasoning?
I don't think it's specific as to what they're doing it for. They've given you the deadlines as to when it's coming. They've stopped selling their 15 quid a month package, which took travel insurance and mobile phone and breakdown cover. There's loads of people that do this. I was genuinely surprised to see them stop, but it's quite easy to do. And it was a very good source of income. But what it is seeing is, I then said, well, who else has stopped? And you've got Santander, the post office, Marks and Spencer's. There's a load that have actually started to go, we just don't want to do it anymore. And maybe that's people going, do we focus back on our own business? Yeah.
I am going to look into it because it makes, practically, it looks like it makes absolute sense. And everything I've read from Yuri Paletti, excuse the dog in the background. Hey, good boy.
Hello, Ben.
So, the Open Embedded Observatory, understandably, because it is their business, but their stats are just projecting it is going. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger still.
Three companies in the UK doesn't make a trend, but it is interesting.
Right, of course not. Yeah,
and I'm trying to sit there. I'd like to sit there and go, what's the root cause of all this at the end of the day? And does this mean, because back to your point about owning the customer, that's now a disintermediated customer that says, I need a bank account and I need to get to different providers to get all these different things. Like the whole goal was.
But who wants to go to an insurance company, right? That's not really. Or do you not just want you want convenience, and you want convenience, but you want to know that you are protected and safe, and everything is looked after, right? So when you buy your house, when you buy your car, it makes great sense, right? And there will be occasions, of course, yes, that you want to niche out and you want, I don't know, whatever. You're going to niche.
Or is distribution moving? And this is the trend for insurers. Aviva, the Spanish guys, AXA Switzerland just this week are all launching into ChatGPT. So you can buy something inside an LLM or through an LLM, which is super interesting.
I think so. And I think there's going to be a trend in that. I don't know whether that's going to be where we will end up, but that's going to absolutely, the learnings that those guys are going to get. And, I've been chatting with Arslan about this, as you can imagine. And in fact, I think there's an interview with him and his partner through the Founders Factory that have helped them get onto GPT, which I've forgotten the name of, which is terrible of me. But Arslan from Aviva. Sorry, we've done an interview. It's in the Beyond Boundaries Europe edition that we're about to publish. But yeah, but it's experimentation, right? It's this isn't going to be a big money earner imminently, but at some point it may be. But the learnings are invaluable, and that's why we do this stuff.
And I think you have to. Part of me says this is all marketing. Part of me says it could work. Not enough people are actually buying through those things just yet, but are exploring.
Yeah.
And we'll go back to what we know. I'm not really worried about you and me. I'm worried about the next generation. How are they going to engage? What happens when your future customer isn't an empathetic human like you or I, but because you've given your credit card to an agent inside an LLM, it is just following a set of rules that you define or a set of conditions that you said, go get me something.
Yeah, interesting one. Hey,
could you apply it to claims? Because I think one of the things you posted was about NN Group, right?
Yeah, you can, but all of this stuff. I mean, and then interesting when you said the word empathy, and we've been in again, with the travelers guys, right? This was 18 months ago. We were looking at virtual agents with them, right? And we've done this with a load of our clients. This isn't any top secret stuff, but looking at how we can improve customer service through virtual agents. And then you have these amazing tech players. It's not just a chatbot. These are agents that are able to demonstrate empathy, tell jokes. It's a really bizarre
Wait, are you telling me
Well, the
my
Mapbot.
dad jokes are obsolete? Or
Yeah, no, never will be. What you should do is you should get them in a little book and sell them, like, I don't know, for $5 or something. That's where dad jokes.
I'm not sure people would like mine. I actually had a joke the other day walking up the hill from a restaurant in the village with my wife after dinner, and I told her a joke. And we're always messy. It's always fun in our house. But she's like, "How long have you been saving that up for?" But she was in stitches, and it's not repeatable, so don't ask me. But it was just brilliant. And
how
to
long
see
had
the
you been
sheer
saving
gig,
it?
I don't know. I've known it for a very long time, and it was probably never appropriate in the first place. But it was just one of those dad jokes. It's like, oh,
Man,
God,
love
Nigel.
Love it.
But anyway, you were saying about claims and empathy, but there was
but with them, just but going back to the NN thing. So the NN use is they are able to issue a bunch of claims depending on the type of claim it is within 6 minutes, and it's like, and that's great, right? But I kind of also hope, we heard the lemonade. I can't remember whatever it was. It's like 2 seconds,
3
many
seconds,
pets,
yeah.
3 seconds with it, many pets, to follow a bunch of others as well, right? And it's kind of like, I want that to be table stakes. I don't want that to be news. It should be, and it's like, it's a good few $100 million invested in that and, other things to be able to give you a couple of $100 million savings every year, right? So the, the return is there, quite obviously. But it's also like, as a customer, I want that to be the case. You talked about it, right? So it's a really simple set of rules.
Well, let me challenge you.
Right. You want it to be more
Not
complex.
all friction is bad.
Right, sure.
And if you've bought online and then you happen to have a moment to claim and you do it within 3 seconds, where's your experience of that company?
I'm sorry, what's the question? So I bought something online. I need to claim.
You need to make a claim. They solve it within 3 seconds. It's just done. So how do you create brand or loyalty or experience to go, oh my God, they were awesome to deal with? Like, you get they were awesome to deal with because it was 3 seconds, but shouldn't there be a follow-up call? Hey, Matt, anything else we can do? We also offer X, Y, and Z.
Sure. Let's not take that off the table either, but let's not prolong I'm out of pocket because I want some great brand experience. That doesn't work, right? So yeah, there are 1,000 other ways that you can create brand experience, but don't delay my payment.
That's fair.
I don't think, at least, but that doesn't work for me. But I remember working with the Compare the Market guys, and they were talking about the ability. You put in all of your details, which is like a big chunk of information, and then they could serve you the results immediately. But they put that little ticker or the car driving across the screen or whatever it is, intentionally to make you think that they're working hard, so that when you get the results, and I get that too. And so there are times you should.
But there's obviously a psychology to all this. I remember doing something similar in the utility space. It must be 25 years ago when we were doing automated email management. When I was
a plumber.
I was a plumber. Yeah. But they could have responded immediately, but they had to send an auto response and we'll get back to you within an hour, because the challenge they had was if you responded immediately, people would go, well, I don't believe that, it's too quick. And then they'd call you as well. So you're putting a solution in for no benefit. So I do think lots of this is generational. Yeah,
maybe. But I would like, but immediacy, transparency, all of that stuff. They are, let's tick those boxes. Give people the money if the claim is fair and legit, and question it if it's not, right? And we can automate a lot of that stuff. It's very difficult to do.
I don't doubt that for a minute. I don't. Yeah. But we can automate all that stuff. But on the other hand, we've just taken away the ability to distribute it easily through bank insurance.
Yes.
It's a
Yes, yes,
really
yes.
exciting time when all this is about to get complicated. Now, how do we distribute? How do we service? Is the person that distributes the same person that services it and vice versa?
Yeah.
Wowzers. It's going to
Mate.
be a fun 12 or 24 months as this thing reshuffles.
Yeah, I think so. Right. And I think we talked about it again offline, which is, we talked about it particularly in the US, but it really feels like and we are eternal optimists, right? But there's a real momentum towards innovation at the moment. I really feel it more so than, we've been doing this. September is our 10th anniversary for Sona, but it's, I feel like this next 5 years is going to go a lot quicker than we've ever seen. And whether it's because of the technology or the just culture or the maturity or approaches, but it's, people are, one minute you're hearing about the kind of Munich Re CVC kind of, closing, Munich Re Ventures. And then, I've had a couple of chats this week about funds that are getting stood up, internally within businesses. So, CVC units get, and it's like, and how
It's
can we help
cyclical,
them?
right? It's all cyclical. But it's back to and AJ's reports from Gallagher Re saying 95% of funding is going into AI. Well, before that whole conversation would have been about claims, underwriting, service, or whatever else, and now they're going, it's horizontal, and we're just taking the AI embedding into other stuff. So it's super interesting.
It is. So, yeah. So I think what is interesting is that I haven't been around industries long enough to go through those cycles myself necessarily. So I'm quite enjoying this one.
Someone did post something the other day and I wrote directly onto it. I often have to pinch myself. I wrote, it's the same pattern we saw for InsurTech 10 years ago. Like it's nothing new. Whilst we're all excited, it's nothing new.
We talked about that with Corgi as well, right? So yeah, maybe that's.
Oh, they're in trouble again this week. I think I sent it to you earlier in the week, didn't I?
You did. Yeah. Like, what was that?
It was they were suing someone because another company had leveraged their IP, and then you ask, how did you get it? Well, I went onto their website. I'm like, so it's available through their website, and you're suing them now as a result. Didn't kind of make sense. I feel like they're in the press too many times about the wrong things.
Yeah, maybe no press. No press is good press. Hang on.
No publicity is bad publicity.
No. Yeah. That. What you said.
More importantly, where are you watching the football?
I think at home. Freddie and my boy, 8 years old, and bearing in mind, as a dad, I was never into football, right? So I'm like that 1% of the UK, if not whatever. I have done my absolute best. We've got bunting up around the lounge. We've got a massive like a huge wall chart that we write in scores every morning. He is well into football. And so he stayed up. So he stayed up. Sorry, he woke up with Caroline, my wife, to watch the England game at 2 a.m. or whatever. Was it 1 a.m. and moved to 2 a.m.?
It was 2 a.m. Yeah, that's right.
And then so at 3 a.m.
I understand the sleep for the record.
Yeah, so at 3 a.m., I was just like, there's too much noise going in the house. These guys are too excited. So I went back up. So we've got upside down house. So I went upstairs to watch with them, which was just epic before my flight to Zurich, I think it was. So it's like even sweeter, right? So all of us on the sofa loving it. And so, so they're at Wimbledon today. So it's Friday. So we've got Arthur Ferry playing today. They're at Wimbledon and Freddie wants to come home to watch the football tonight. That's just like, I love this, right? He is well into it. So yeah, we'll watch it at home, but we'll have a good time and enjoy that. What about you?
We are having a few friends round. My little guy's bringing some friends round, so it should be good fun. So
that's nice.
We'll throw a TV up and we'll have a bit of fun.
Okay, and annoy the neighbours.
We will try to avoid doing that piece. But I went out to try and buy an England shirt because I'm not really an England football. I'm not really a football shirt type fan. And my daughter got one and she got a lovely shirt. And then I was like, I'm just going to buy a plain white I don't normally wear plain white. So I've just got a plain white t-shirt and I can wear it on the holiday. So what's our score prediction?
Oh, let's go for a win, right? Shall we?
I'm definitely in for a win.
I know so little about football. Even so I watched the Argentina. This must be terrible for people who like football, right? But I watched the Argentina Egypt game. So and again, I turned it on. It was 2-0, and I turned it on because Caroline. So I must have been in Zurich at the time. But Caroline and Freddie were watching it at home. Love that, and they're like, Matt, you have to watch this. So turned it on, and then so I think it was 1-0, and then saw the Egyptian guy run from his goal line up to the other, and then it was disallowed. But again, it's just one of those where like, I mean, it's pretty basic rules in football, but it's those nuances of the rules that I just don't know enough about. It's like, was that a foul? Was that not a foul? Now they're like getting evicted out of
Don't ask me or you about offside is what we're going to say.
Mate, it seems like the most corrupt kind of organization I've ever seen. Excuse me.
That's a whole different conversation. Let's not go there.
And but it's just one of those where now seemingly all like that referee and the touch judges are getting booted out of. I'm like, what? Anyway, so
as a random
times.
aside, I saw
Crazy
an article as well this weekend. I think it was Insurance.Times that talked about one of the World Cup referees is a broker by day.
That imagine
talk about great side hustles.
Mate, there was someone in the Winter Olympics who I follow. He's in the insurance industry. He was a judge for the curling or something.
No way.
It's just like, yeah, it's one of the like my LinkedIn connections. I was like, that is great. So
man, oh man. Hey, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the football. I will send you a picture of us celebrating outside in our garden once we win. I go for a 2-1.
Mate, 2-1 it is. All right, 1-0 for me. Big love. Catch you soon. Cheers, fella.
Ladies.
Bye.